Hey everyone, it's Father Sean for another episode of the Couch Chat. We're in June, right? And I've been mentioning in June we've got all of these great feast days. Last week we celebrated Trinity Sunday, and I particularly love Trinity Sunday. The first Mass I ever celebrated after the day after ordination was Trinity Sunday. Big day. Next week, this upcoming week, we're celebrating Corpus Christi Sunday. That's a Sunday where we focus on the body and blood of Jesus Christ, and it was originally instituted after a Eucharistic miracle. So I know I mentioned in last week's Couch Chat about our Eucharistic procession and our Jubilee visit to the Shrine of the Holy Relics. So if you've never been to the Shrine of the Holy Relics, I believe it has the second most relics out of any spot outside of the Vatican. I believe the other one's in like Pennsylvania or something like that. So that's cool. Relics, bones of saints, they'll talk about that. Just come on out. Come out, eat lunch, don't eat lunch, but come for a visit. I didn't mention last week the gift shop's also going to be open, so if you want to get a little memorabilia, get a statue or something like that, you can. So it's a Jubilee site declared by the Archbishop, which means you can get a plenary indulgence for going. Plenary indulgences, to gain that, you have to do a couple things. One, you have to do the act in and of itself, right? So the act is visiting the Shrine of the Holy Relics. The next two things you have to do on 8 days either side of your visit. 8 days before, 8 days after. Either one. Go to confession, receive Holy Communion on 8 days before or after to receive that indulgence. And then you have to pray for the intentions of the Holy Father. To pray like an Our Father, Hail Mary, and a Glory Be for the intentions of Pope Leo. You can just say, for the intentions of Pope Leo, pray your Our Father, pray your Hail Mary, pray your Glory Be. Ideally, you could do them while you're at the shrine, but you don't have to. So a plenary indulgence means a wiping out, a forgiveness of sin, a forgiveness of all the effects of sin and the temporal punishment, the time in purgatory that's associated with sin. And the charitable thing, you can do this for yourself, but I believe the charitable thing is to do it for somebody else. So I have been, during this Jubilee year, been making it a point to do gain these plenary indulgences and offering them for my deceased family members. So I think I've at least done 4 this year, 1 for each of my deceased grandparents. So that is something you can do. You can do it for yourself, but you think like I thought about, okay, this indulgence is for my grandfather Wilson. And and if he doesn't need it, if he's already in heaven, the goodness of God is he'll do with that whatever he wants. Now, the last thing you have to do for a plenary indulgence is to have a total detachment from sin. And that can be a tough one, right? To not be attached to sin, to not see sin and think, ooh, that's kind of nice, right? Like, ooh, I want to have that 5th beer, or ooh, I want to have an extra scoop of ice cream, or ooh, I got that person because they hurt me. Complete detachment from sin can be a little tough, but you can get a partial indulgence without that. So if you're not perfectly detached from sin, maybe you are, maybe you aren't, I don't know your soul, you can get a partial indulgence, which is still something good to offer for somebody. So come on out to the shrine, gain that plenary indulgence, participate in our Eucharistic procession there at the Relic Shrine. And then the other thing I wanted to point your attention to, actually I had 2 other things. Last week's Couch Chat, I mentioned that I'm going to Rome for retreat the first full week of July. So leaving Sunday, July 6th, and be back that Friday. So I'll be here for Masses that time. But I want to take your petitions. I want to take your prayers. So there's a link in the notes here for you to go on a Google form, submit your prayer requests, or if you want to, you can email them to pastor@holyfaceparish.org. You can drop a note in the collection basket, whatever's convenient. The Google form is most convenient for me because they'll just all be there and I don't have to take all of these pieces of paper with me in my check luggage, or backpack. I'm not checking luggage, but that's neither here nor there. All right, the last thing that I wanted to share is it's time to start thinking about CCD for next year. And so in May, we thank all of our catechists for the great work, the time, the talent, the energy they pour forth. and then ask them if they plan to come back. And so we've got some people that said they're not going to come back. So we want to start filling those holes. We want to put out the general ask if people want to discern being a CCD teacher. So if you're interested in this, you can reach out to Angie Souls or Denise Scheiplein. They can help you. They can answer any questions, all of that sort of thing. Let me run through the needs that we need at this point. I'm filming this a little early, so something could have gotten filled, but probably not by now. So at St. Lawrence, we need a handful of people. Second grade teachers, it would be great to have 2 second grade teachers at St. Lawrence. Important year preparing for First Holy Communion. Also, we need a 4th grade teacher at St. Lawrence. Also, we need some junior high teachers at St. Lawrence. That's like 7th and 8th grade. Junior high is one that we're really looking for. So if you're feeling the heart to help those 7th and 8th graders, we could use some more people in junior high at Immaculate Conception also. Also at Immaculate Conception could use one additional 6th grade teacher. I believe at St. Joe they could use some junior high teachers. So recap: at St. Lawrence, 2 second grade, a 4th grade, and 2 people for junior high. At IC, a 6th grade and some people for junior high, 7th and 8th grade. At St. Joe, some junior high also. It's like kind of table leaders. You can do a little bit of presentation. It's not straight teaching for the junior high. And then, of course, our high school program is all together in the big center at St. Joseph. We could use some more high school help. So if you're looking at helping high schoolers in their faith, important time for the practice of the faith. So take this to prayer. Ask the Lord if this is maybe what He's asking you to do at this season in your life. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Right? But it's important to at least ask. To ask the question, if you're married, to talk to your spouse about, I'm thinking about doing this. How would that look for our family? Maybe it's like, yeah, you should. Or maybe it's like, no. Pray about it. So, hopefully you have a great Corpus Christi Sunday. Hopefully you're able to come out to the Relic Shrine for the Jubilee event. And then if you're able to submit some petitions to Rome, I'd appreciate to pray for you and your needs. And then lastly, if you're able to help with CCD coming up, much appreciated. All right, Father Sean for the Couch Chat. See you next week. I'll probably see you before that at the shrine.